Hello guys, this is my first video on YouTube. I was just thinking about something. In fact, people talk about freedom of conscience. That is the freedom of a person to practice or preach any religion or spiritual way of life. Yes, but the most confusing aspect of it, according to me, is, for example, in religions like Christianity or Islam, you know, which claim to be the truth. In fact, Islam even goes as far as saying that it is the final and the absolute word of God. Yes. At least in Christianity, there is a scope of it being an inspiration, divine inspiration. Right? Yes. An unchanging word of God, by the way. So, Islam, the Quran cannot be changed by human logic. Yes. Because it's the word of God. You cannot change it. So in such religions, in fact, yes, when some people use their freedom of conscience to convert to either Islam or Christianity, yes, convert to either Islam or Christianity, so it no longer remains freedom for them in their minds, because they perceive it as finding the truth. Yes, for them it no longer becomes freedom to choose this or that religion. Yes, for them it becomes they have found the truth. Yes, that is how they see it. They have found the truth. Yes, right? And it was God who guided them to that truth. So in that case, it doesn't remain free will. They may have used their free will to convert, yes, but after they convert, they no longer attribute it to their free will. They attributed it to God's will. It is God who guided them to these religions. So when such religions exist, especially Islam in its modern day form, Christianity has secularized a lot. Islam in its modern day a lot. Do you really think there is scope for freedom of conscience? Yes. Because a true Muslim believer, yes, doesn't believe in freedom of conscience. Yes. He believes that Islam is the final message of God. The Quran is the final message of God. It is the literal word of God and it is unchangeable. Yes. It cannot be changed by human innovation, which is bid'ah. In Arabic, in Islam, it's called bid'ah, innovation. Humans cannot change anything. So, when we talk about reform, yes, it's not that easy to reform Islam, because you cannot change the word of God. You cannot reinterpret it any other way. You have to interpret it the way it is. A lot of Muslims choose to reinterpret it. That's a different thing. But Islamically, you cannot reinterpret it. Islamically, you cannot reinterpret it. Yes, it is the word of God. Yes. Reinterpreting would mean that you consider your logic to be superior to God. Yes. Right? And how can a human being be superior to God? Yes. Just think about it. And not just that. This is theology, even civilizationally and culturally. When someone converts to Islam or Christianity or any other religion for that matter, but more for these two religions, yes, it is like an entire civilizational 360-degree for them. They start to identify, a Muslim convert, yes, will start to identify with Muslim causes, with the Muslim narrative of victimhood or persecution, right? Same with the Christian, although less so, relatively less compared to the Muslim. Yes. But yeah, it is there. Yes. The causes of the global Muslims will be internalized by the convert. Yes. By the one who has converted. And also, it is possible that the convert, yes, yes, in most cases, by the way, will not value the Indian Constitution or the freedoms granted under Indian Constitution as highly or higher than the Quran, than the Sharia. Yes. Yes. This is a very secular worldview. Yes. Where this freedom of conscience mindset, a secular liberal worldview, where you can just change your religion and still be. But that's not how the world works, unfortunately. Because let me tell you something more about this topic. You know, all transformations in society happen under the guise of choice. Let's take ancient Rome for example. The earlier conversions to Christianity in ancient Rome were all choice. They were choice. And remember that, and once the people converted to Christianity, they became quite exclusivist. I mean, there was a difference, the pagans, the polytheists in Rome, the worshippers of Mars and Aphrodite, you know that, and other gods, these Greco-Roman pagan gods, all of these Zeus and all of that. You already know them. Greek mythology and Roman mythology, all of that. You know that, right? They were quite tolerant of these Christians, in fact, yes. And other religions as well. Jews were there. Yes, there were periods of persecution, but the persecution wasn't uniform. Yes, we are told stories of how Roman pagans used to persecute Christians like anything, and how monstrous they were and how evil they were when it came to treatment of Christians. I would say it's over exaggeration. The treatment that Christians meted out to the pagans was far worse than whatever pagans did to Christians, in fact, when Christians became the majority. And those conversions, mind you, started by choice. Yes. Those Christians were a small group initially in Rome, in the Roman Empire. And all those people who converted through choice. Rome had freedom of religion, by the way, back then. It was more flexible when it came to accepting people's other beliefs. Just how polytheistic religions are. I mean, spiritually quite open, quite accepting of other belief systems, as long as they don't disrupt the social order. Yes, that is the social law and order and all of that. Yes. They can coexist and practice their religion. That is fine. Okay. So yeah, my point was that all these conversions, they start by choice in many places, not in all, of course, in many places. But once they come to majority, once they become the majority, in fact, yes, the entire character of the society will change. Today, India is a liberal, secular democracy, yes, in a way. It is secular, at least. Pluralistic, more pluralistic than secular. Secular is a little different. Secularism doesn't fit in the Indian context. Secularism is separation of religion from the state. In India, we don't have that. In India, it's like respecting all religions equally. Yes, and that's not secularism. That's pluralism. We call that secularism, but fine. So yeah, my point is that all these religious freedoms that you have currently in India, yes, would it continue to exist if Muslims and Christians come to majority? By choice between, not by, by coercion or force. People started converting by choice. And through choice, by converting through choice and choice and choice and choice, they came to power. Yes, they became the majority slowly over time. Slowly over time, they became the majority. Yes. Same for Christianity. Now, see, people's perception of Christianity is Europe. Well, Europe went through a lot of Reformation during Renaissance. Christianity as practiced in Europe is quite secularized. And Europe is also becoming more and more atheist or agnostic over time. I'm not saying it's a good thing, by the way. Completely stripping a society of religion or spirituality has its own disastrous consequences, and we will discuss that later. This video is not about that. Many people say that removing religion from the world would make the world a better place. No, it would make the world even worse. Let me tell you that. Okay? Before you think anything else. Religion actually makes the world a better place. I'm not religious myself. Yes. But the world is far better with people believing in something, yes, in a higher power, yes, than not believing in anything at all. I wouldn't want to live in an atheist world. It would be such a shallow, what do we say? Shallow, meaningless, sterile world with no divine inspiration to it. But that's a topic for another day. Nihilistic, yes, that's the word I was searching for. Nihilistic. It would be such a nihilistic world, man. People would not have anything to live for. Just think about it. But that's a topic for another day. We will discuss that sometime later. So yeah, my main point was about freedom of conscience. Do you think it makes sense? It's a very secular POV, yes, if you look at it carefully. Freedom of conscience, it doesn't exist. Yes. Not in presence of religions like Islam and Christianity. Yes, especially. I'm not saying Islam and Christianity are totally bad, by the way. If someone comes and says that Christianity and Islam have no value to offer, well, that's not a correct statement to make. I mean, Christianity and Islam has a lot to offer. In fact, our conception of modern law and morality, yes, in today's time, comes a lot from Christianity, is inspired a lot by Christianity. Yeah. Liberalism, in fact, secularism and liberalism are themselves cultural outgrowths of Christianity. This is also a topic for another day. Yes, we will discuss it another day. Yes, not today. Okay, not in this video. I will make another video about that. Liberalism and secularism are rooted in the concept of individual freedom. Yes, and individual freedom has its roots in the Bible. Yes, in Christianity. Anyway, this is not the point of this particular video. Yes. So yeah, think about freedom of conscience. Just think about it. Yes. Does it work? Because the people who convert using the freedom of conscience don't believe in it after converting. Because their religions don't believe in that. Yeah. Or do not have space enough to accommodate that. Or their worldview, even. Not just religion, even worldview. Yes. Any worldview. Yes. See, these values like liberalism and secularism only exist when you have a majority that either has a consensus on it, yes, or has no problem with it. In India's case, I would say it's the latter. But again, this is a topic for another day. Yes. No, actually, this fits into the video. So yeah, never mind. So yeah, man, think about this freedom of conscience. Does it exist? Does it work? Yes. Changing religion is not like changing clothes or eating your favorite food. It's an entire shift in the worldview, in the conception of self, and how you relate to others. Getting my point? So yeah, just think about it, man. That's it for the video, I guess.